What's going on, guys? I'm Bill and welcome to Bill's How To. Today I'm going to show you guys just how easy it is to clean out the Wagner 350M Control Pro airless sprayer. It's really simple and straightforward. Let's get straight into it. Let's do this. Alright guys, so I've literally just finished using the sprayer. I've sprayed some ceilings in this property with the 350M. Awesome little unit. I'm loving it more and more every single time. If you haven't seen my review on that, check it out. But for today, I'm going to show you guys just how easy it is to clean. Most of the work comes in your prep work and also cleaning up. Nobody likes to clean up, and luckily this machine basically does it on its own. So a couple things we're going to need. We're going to need one bucket for dirty water and one bucket with clean water in it. That's pretty much all we're gonna need. Now this unit here basically cycles the water through itself and then it comes out nice and clean. So what we need to do first and foremost is, there's a lot of different ways to do this really, but the way that I like to do it is to take off the suction and return hose. First, wash them out separately. That way when I put the hoses back in the clean bucket, it's not gonna instantly make my water dirty. Now that's the biggest issue that I had the last time around. I dropped this straight away into a clean bucket of water, and then by the time it started cycling through, it actually made my water very dirty straight away. So what I find is a better way to do it is to remove these hoses. They're actually very easy to do. There's a little clamp that holds your return and also the suction. So just simply take that off. Now we can separate these two hoses, and you'll see up the top there's a little clamp. So if I just press down on that clamp, a little bit hard to do with one hand, slide it down, and we can take this one here off. So now we can take this hose separately. I'll actually drop this one here into the dirty bucket and I'll clean this one here out. Same thing with the suction. Drop that clamp down. Might bring the dirty bucket over a little bit closer. So on the bottom of this, we've also got a little filter that we need to pull apart and also wash out. Make sure we're catching all the little drips. And now we can take this one here separately, wash it under a nice warm tap, and we can clean all of this mess here up. So I'm going to go quickly, just wash these off really fast, rinse them off under a tap. So when you're washing out the suction hose, just make sure you undo the filter on the bottom. You'll find there's a fair bit of build-up of paint on the bottom, you can see there. Just simply wash all that one there out as well. And then also on the bottom here. That'll make the cleaning process so much faster and easier. We won't have to fill up as much clean water. So now that we've got these two hoses rinsed out, it makes the process so much quicker. We can now simply remove our paint tin. We can put our new bucket of water, which is the clean water, and we can reattach our hoses. Now with this one here, which is the return, what we want to do is we're going to also connect this one here. However, we're not going to put it back in the same bucket. So now we're going to keep the return hose into the dirty bucket and keep the suction into the clean bucket. So we're going to suck out the clean water and we're going to prime it so that it pumps out some clean water out into this dirty bucket. So we'll just make sure it's on prime. We can now see that the water's running through, not the paint. So what we're going to do is leave this hose here into the dirty bucket. We can take our gun, remove our guard and our tip, and drop those into a warm bucket of water. So all we're going to do is just wash these ones here out by hand. Right at the end, I'm going to take the tip and I'm going to make sure that I've got clean water running through it. That way I'll make sure that I've cleaned the tip 100% perfectly. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to just undo this little extension that I've got on here. We'll also wash this one here out separately by hand. And now we're going to switch the machine over to spray. Turn the pressure on 1 or 2. And now you'll find there's actually some paint still left over in the line. So if you want, you can save that paint. We'll squirt it all into our bucket of paint. And then once we start seeing the water come through, we'll switch it over onto the dirty water instead. So be very careful, squeeze the trigger very lightly because it might squirt back up. Now the paint's actually starting to come out a bit watery, so we got a good probably 500 mils to a litre of paint through that line. We've got a 15 metre hose here, so it's a fair bit of paint. Don't want to let that go to waste, and now we can just flush it out through our dirty bucket. So we're going to continue to keep cycling it through with the clean water until our line comes out nice and clean. Bit of a close-up for you guys. So just keep your eye on it until you start seeing clean water coming through. Now we can switch that unit off. We do have clean water only coming out. Now it's a little bit hard to tell because we've got a white bucket here and it's also white paint, but it is definitely nice and clean running through that line. What I'm going to do at this point is I'll switch the unit off. I'll take off these hoses, give them one good thorough clean once again, now that we're no more running through any paint or any of the mess that was running through the unit. I'm going to pull apart the handle, because we've got a filter inside. Remember that you have to always clean this filter if you want it to last as long as possible. So now we've got the unit switched off, release the pressure. And now we can undo our handle. So I'll go grab another adjustable wrench. So just before I take out this filter, what I've done is I've gone off and washed the guard and also the tip. Now it's a little bit hard to see, but there we go. So you can see the tip still has slightly a little bit of paint in it down that bottom section there. The back's nice and clean. However, at the front, it's still a little bit dirty. So what I always like to do is put the guard and the tip back on. And we're just going to blast some water through that, make sure that it's all nice and clean. So we'll just turn the unit back on for a second, spray that water through. Make sure that you're going to clear out the tip. And always remember, turn it back the opposite direction as well and clear it in reverse as well. Now we've got a perfectly clean tip, we can take that guard and the tip off and store that one back where it was. So now the pressure's all out of the hose, we can take our adjustable wrench and take the gun part. My second set of adjustable wrench is actually gone missing, so we'll use the multi-grips. Undo it in the center so we can pull the filter apart. And we're just going to pull out the filter from the housing and just make sure to clean that as well. So everything's been running through nice and clean, or clean water. However, you can see there a little bit of debris caught in the filter, so the filter's doing its job. Once again, run that under some warm water, clean it out. That way our filter will last as long as possible. So now that we've got all the individual components cleaned, that's basically it, guys. It's really simple, straightforward. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put everything back together. Now with the filter, I like to leave the filter separately so that it can just dry off, and it's really handy to have this little storage compartment up on top, so I can store my tips, my guard, everything can go in there and it's ready to go for next time. So we'll just put this one here back together. Tip, guard, filter can all go up here in the storage compartment. You can see there I've got some sticky tape on top. That's because I store this on its side when I'm transporting it. We can now remove our clean water. Make sure we put our clip back for the hoses. Keep them both nice and tidy. And we can now roll up our hose. Now with the hose, because it's a long 15-metre hose, what I like to do is just tape it up. That way it keeps everything nice and tidy, ready to go for next time. And I can hang that one there on the side. And we're ready to go, guys. So all in all, it's a pretty simple, straightforward process. I find the machine does pretty much most of that dirty work. It's pretty clean, efficient, effective. Very happy, guys. I really don't like cleaning up, and this one here makes it nice and easy for me. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. As always, like, comment and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Bill. Thanks for watching Bill's How To.